Good morning. How is everybody? Well, I don't care how you're doing. Angie, how are you?
I'm freaking fantastic, Sheila. How are you?
I'm freaking fantastic too. We're gonna talk about some fun things. First, let me tell you, Angie had the coolest job in radio because she got to do marketing. And marketing people get to do all the fun stuff and plan all the fun stuff. Like if you lived in Dayton, Ohio, you knew what X Fest or Edge Fest was because that's the place you wanted to be. That's where we were. And Angie was the one helping to plan all this stuff. So she's got great stories. Where do you want to start?
Um, let's start at the very beginning.
Okay, what year?
Yeah, I think I came in 1998 in the fall, and my very first event was, I, I can't remember if it was called Edge Fest, but if it was still being called Edge Fest or if it was the first X Fest. But
98?
in 98, you've got the CD, right?
I have this one.
Okay, so it was X Fest. Yeah.
And then I have one from Edge Fest also.
There we go. Oh, 97. So it must have been 98
Okay, so
was
X Fest then.
so I was at the very first X Fest when it became switched over, but we were still at the UD's backyard. Remember in the muddy gravel pit
Oh,
behind
yes.
University of Dayton.
I remember one of the DJs got a little out of hand.
Well, yes, because that's what happens at X Fest. Everybody gets a little out of hand.
It wasn't me.
That was not you. One
No.
of the one of the so I was part of the I worked in NTR, and NTR was non-traditional radio. So basically I got to do all of the event planning, all the events. So we had 8 radio stations, and at any one given time I was 3 events planning, 3 events post doing post reviews, and 3 events happening. So at any given time there was stuff going on all the time. So that X Fest, I remember that Marcy. This is the big memory. Marcy's Playground was
Marcy's
the
Playground.
headliner for that particular X Fest,
Okay.
and they were in Chicago, and they had a totally drunken, riotous show in Chicago, and the lead singer refused to get on the plane because he was in his hotel room throwing up. So here I am having to go in and retype. I'm doing clerical work at XFest. So I'm in the offices at UD retyping the band lineup, because the band, Marcy's Playground, the band showed up. The lead singer did not, but they were forcing him to get on a later flight. And so he was going to make it to play the show. But then, which I can't remember if he did or didn't, but I
I
had to,
don't think we had him ever. We didn't I don't think we had Marcy's Playground, did we? They didn't play.
I don't think they ended up showing up. So
Okay.
somebody else stated, but that was the year that we had Guided by Voices, the
Oh,
Dayton
that was a
band.
great yeah.
That was good. And I can't believe it if you're going to laugh, because X Fest got so hard with some of those harder bands, but at this particular one, Men at Work was at that X Fest.
Yes.
Yes. And so it's kind of funny because I just got home from Australia like 3 weeks ago, and the first thing I did was, I went to the grocery store, got some of that Vegemite.
Oh.
Don't. I'm just telling you right now. In my head, it's a great idea. Men at Work. I live in a land down under. I have a Vegemite sandwich. I have to
Yeah,
do the Australian thing. Don't do it. That
yeah.
product should never be made, should never be exported, should never be seen again. It is, I don't need, it's supposed to be a vitamin supplement that you spread thinly on a piece of bread. However, it looks like chocolate fudge you would pour over ice cream. And
Oh.
so I just take a big scoop of it, put it on my bread. I took a bite, and I literally spit it out, was throwing up in the kitchen sink, and my husband's like, "What's wrong with you?" And I'm like, this is shite. This is awful. This is awful." So,
Oh.
okay, when you have a hankering to listen to Men at Work, if you still do, if you even know who they are, and then don't go buy the Vegemite sandwich, or don't buy the Vegemite. But that's my X Fest, my very first X Fest. Men at Work, Guided by Voices, Marcy's Playground not showing up, and my having to type the new band list.
Was Jars of Clay that year?
Oh,
Case Choice?
that could be, because that was a
Sponge?
long time ago. Yeah.
Sponge? Plum? You remember Kara's Flowers?
No.
Oh my goodness. Well, you're gonna love this then. This is, let's see. I gotta see what year this is, but you said, oh, this is 97. I'm sorry. That year we had as our The Fix. Was that year? The Fix?
Say somebody else.
The
Was
Fix.
Men at Work on that CD?
Better Than Ezra, Candlebox, Real Big Fish,
Gosh,
Sprung Monkey, Kay's Choice, Everything, Agents of Good Roots.
maybe that was the following year, because I remember those bands. Anyways, there were so many bands, and it just changed from those. The Fix, that was totally the 80s. Men at Work, totally the 80s. And then we got into some of that more heavier stuff. Seven Deaths, Puddle of Mud, Eve Six.
One year we had Kara's Flowers,
I
and
don't
it
know. I don't know who that is. Should I
today
know who that is?
now you would. It's Maroon 5.
No! What? That's
Yeah,
my married
well,
Adam Levine is my married boyfriend.
well,
What?
you got to see him in an X Fest.
No!
Kara's Flowers. Yes, girl.
Are you kidding me?
Not at all. I wish I could play the CD for you.
I think I still have that CD somewhere in my collection. I am going to look that up, because
You've met Adam Levine, but you didn't know it.
he's my married boyfriend. Oh my God. I love him. I love him. I don't care what people say. I love him.
Yeah, I
I
don't
love
care.
American Horror Story. I love him. I love him. Okay. Okay. Who else? Who else can we talk about?
Oh, okay. What about the year that 9/11 happened? Horrible year, but
Oh
wonderful,
my God.
beautiful. I get goosebumps still thinking about all the love that
I
we
have
had
them
in a
right now.
stadium. Yeah, I do too. I mean, all the love in that stadium that day was just amazing. You just wanted to stand there and cry
So
because of
yes,
the
and,
love.
and we did that
Yeah.
year. That year was, I remember sitting in the big round table down in the first floor conference room. Are we, or are we not going to have this concert? It was 9/11 happened 5 days before X Fest. And what were we going to do? All the planes were grounded, all of our bands, Power Man 5000, that was going to be their
Yes.
only US uh, play.
Appearance. Yeah.
Yes, appearance, because they were going to go on their world tour, and they were going to go to Europe. And they were our headliner that year. And so we were debating, should we have it, should we not? And as we kept going, bands were dropping off because they couldn't fly. So then uh, Kramer started getting, calling all the record companies. Who's within driving distance?
Yeah.
Who is within driving distance that can come to our concert? And so we ended up having some bands that really got some big recognition because of that. But I think the best of all of the bands that day was Tantric,
I
because
knew you were going to say that because guess what I got right here? and it's signed by Tantric.
Oh my God. I didn't send you the tantric photos. I need to send those tantric photos.
Well, I gotta add to that, because I know they came from Kentucky, right?
Louisville, yeah.
Louisville? Okay. They came from Louisville, and they get there, and what's the singer's name? I know you know him. I can't
Hugo.
yes. Okay, so Hugo kinda stumbles off the bus and goes, "Alright, who's got weed?"
He
Joe walks over, and he goes, "I got your guy right here," and introduces him to the guy with the weed, and they all climbed on the bus and smoked.
and and that's just the way that it was. And
Yes, I enjoyed
but
it.
let me tell you something about Hugo and tantric. 25,000 people who needed an outlet by day 5 after 9/11.
Yeah.
No airplanes, nothing was going on anywhere in the city, in the country. Everything was down. It was it was something so magical to have the people come out and want to be there, to have that camaraderie with everybody, because we didn't know what was happening. We didn't know if the world was going to blow up.
Wright Pat Air Force Base is just down the street. I mean,
Yeah,
we were terrified.
yeah, the next day, or whatever was going to happen. And I remember tantric gets on, and they start singing the national anthem, and everybody is singing the national anthem. And then after it's over, they chanted USA, and for probably 5 to 7 minutes of nothing but USA chant. And it was, oh gosh, I have
I know.
goosebumps all the way down my body. It truly was one of the most magical events that I've ever been a part of. And everybody was so good about that event. I mean, the staff coming together and putting that on, and it being just, it was just awesome.
It was magical,
It,
truly.
it truly, it is. I hate to say it
I
overly
know.
magical, but you had to be there to feel what was happening. You have 25,000 people in the infield of the Montgomery County Fairgrounds, on the inside of the oval of the racetrack, and the grandstands and 2 stages, and all the vendors that all showed up because they all wanted to be there. And it was just truly, truly one of those events I'll never, ever, ever forget in my life. Yeah.
We had the American flag hanging by a crane,
Yes. Yes.
and was that the year Goldfinger was there?
Yes. Yes. I mean, it was just,
It was amazing. It was the most magical I hate that word now,
I
um,
know.
transcending, let's go with that,
Yeah.
event, because we had people, eh, that needed to be together and be around each other, that needed to feel love, but also be able to let go some rage, and that's what we were letting them do too, because that's part of what X Fest is. Let's get in the mosh pit. Let's go, meet these people. Let's watch the midgets wrestling. I know that's inappropriate, but I don't care.
I sent a picture of Puppet.
Oh no, Angel, can you find that little person?
Yes. So we had, okay, so we'll digress over to the midget wrestling, but
Yes.
again, just having X Fest that year was, I'm just so glad I was a part of that, and then, well, before we go to midget wrestling, remember the very next year. Okay, so the very next year, same weekend as always in September, the next year, um, Wright-Patterson Air Force Base decides to have exercises where they were going to tear down the Jackson School over on Interstate 35. or US Route 35. And they had Army helicopters, and they were going in using it as a terrorist thing, like for training.
I don't
And do you
remember
remember the
those.
helicopters that landed behind the main stage across the street at UD's at the big field? And
Yeah.
everybody was freaking out because there were all these um, military people uh, coming down on the ropes out of the helicopters, and everybody was freaking out that here it is 1 year later, and that there were these exercises happening, but people didn't know what was happening. And so the helicopters and people are freaking out and screaming and crying and carrying on. And I remember that they had to make an announcement from the stage that Wright-Patterson was doing military exercises, and for everybody to calm down.
It's hard to get a lot of people like that to calm down, because
Right,
you get
because
riled up. You're watching this happen the street over. It's
yes,
not like it's not blocks away.
no,
It is a street over.
it's a one street over in an open field, and that's where they decided to let the army guys come, rappel down the ropes, and then they were picking people up, and they were climbing back up and climbing into the helicopter, and then they were flying them over to the Jackson School for their exercises. Oh my gosh, crazy, crazy! But let's go over to the midget wrestling.
Yes, there's our friend. I absolutely loved being to be part of all of this because we did silly stuff. We
We did
did
do silly
great
stuff.
stuff.
I mean, that was part of my job, was to, okay, brainstorm what it is that we could do. What are the fun activities, and stuff that's not, normal stuff, that you would
Right.
do at a concert. Not like Mix 1077, where, you did the Rubik's Cube. Oh, am
Yeah.
I not allowed to say that?
You say
Um,
whatever you want.
um, that other station, that mix station that,
Yep,
at
yes.
their festival, people were doing spinning a wheel to win a prize, or who could do the Rubik's Cube the fastest, or doing the electric slide. I mean, no, X Fest was about, we had midget wrestling where we had midgets, and the guy's name is Puppet. And like, he gets up on top of a trailer, a tall trailer, like a 12-foot trailer, and he body slams a guy who was laying down on an 8-foot banquet table down
Oh
below.
my gosh.
And he jumps down and he body slams him, and the table just collapses. And it was like, oops. But no, they're wrestling. And then we had that the wrestling ring, and they're going at it. I mean, midgets wrestling.
Yes.
It was hilarious, and it was fun, and it was, true WWE wrestling type wrestling. But the midgets that we had there, we had inflatable Twister, and of course
Yep.
that just became a bounce house for adults. They were just all bouncing on top of that. Um, oh, remember we had the foam pit,
Yes, that was
where that
my
that was that was
insistence.
that was fun. That was fun. We had security in and out of this big inflatable pit that filled with foam, and it would get like 10 feet high. So it would start out, and the foam would build up till it got up over your head. And then, you would have this foam. So you would run into people. You would, all kinds of, let me tell you, we had security on the outside, and they were telling us stories of, people having sex
Zach,
inside the foam pit while it was all foamy, things that were going on in there. And then they would
you
spray it all down, rinse it all out, and then they would start it all over again.
uh, well, you're welcome.
Oh, do you remember the Triple X tent?
Oh, yeah, I was just gonna say, there was nothing better than when Paul Brigitzer would get involved with his girls, because he worked at a strip club, and he was a part-time jock with TV, and he just brought those girls because, man, the guys love them.
So
And
So in the triple, well, here we had the triple X tent, and you had to show ID. You had to be 21 or older to get in. Well, that was loosely, loosely.
Oh, you're 12. Come on in.
You're 12. Yes, come on in. But right next door to that, we had 1 year. Well, 1 year we had a trampoline, and we called it Tramps on Trampoline.
Oh,
And then another year, and so we had these
wait a
girls.
minute. Was it the girls that? Yeah,
Yes,
okay.
yes, the girls from the Triple X tent came out of the tent, and then they would jump up and down on the trampoline, and that was a show enough. Yeah, yeah, yes, gravity. Yes,
Yes.
down to the knees, above the head. Down to the knees, above the head.
Oh, I see you, Angel.
Is he laughing? He's probably like, I want to see a
Oh,
picture. How's come I don't have pictures of
see,
that?
see. Well, you can't take pictures of everything. You're trying to live in the moment. We're driving golf carts around, smashing them into trees. I
Yes.
mean, do you recall that year? One of
Uh-uh.
the oh, I got a good story. I don't remember what X Fest, but it was me and Mr. Clobber and one of the program directors and a couple other people. We were on one of the golf carts, got in a little accident, took the golf cart back where it went. And you know how you had the papers on the front that said who they belonged to?
Mhm, mhm.
Well, we changed it with the one that said MF. And
I know who MF is.
I know you do. So we put MF on there and just quietly tiptoed away.
So
Golf carts are so fun.
speaking of golf, oh, we're all over the board here. Golf
I
carts.
know, I'm so sorry.
No, Pat Flanagan from Flanagan's Pub lent me his golf cart. So I had my personal chariot, and on the front of it, I had taped on there Angie's chariot. Well, it was me. Do you remember? You know Vern. You remember
Oh,
Vern?
yeah, love Vern.
It was me, Vern, and 3 or 4 band guys that we had to take from the backstage tent that was the band tent from that was behind the main stage to the second stage all the way across the infield. And so all these guys piled on to this golf cart, and literally it's just a tiny golf cart, and we ended up blowing the tire. And I
Oh.
was crying. I'm like, Pat's gonna kill me. And Vern's like, Pat's not gonna kill you. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. So the next day, so I put the golf cart up. I kind of did what you did. Put it to the side, grabbed another golf cart, changed the sign on it. And the next day, Vern took it down to Wurlitzer's Goodyear right there on the other side of the fairgrounds, and they replaced the tire. And then I took the golf cart back
Oh,
to
how
Pat and
sweet.
put sign on it.
I
Because
swear. We've got too many stories about all the stuff because the years have just blended together,
I
just
know.
like ice cream melting. And I gotta explain what a big operation this was. 25,000 people are coming to
Yeah.
your event, and it's got two main stages, one on the top, one on the bottom, and then in between, vendors, people selling stuff to eat, selling beer, having the midget wrestling or the guys riding the stunt bikes.
Yes.
Or, gosh, we did so many different infield things that were just there to keep you entertained while you waited. If you didn't like the band that was on, no worries. You had a million other things you could go do right then. It was just an entertaining day. It was amazing.
It was truly, I mean, it was truly a festival,
Mm.
atmosphere. I remember, do you remember my boss, Kim?
Ah, yes, I like him.
Okay, so Kim and I used to do research. And so one year we went to Lollapalooza down at Riverbend in Cincinnati,
Oh,
so that
wow.
we could check out what it was, the attractions, the sideshow attractions, to see what they were doing, so that we could kind of recreate that festival event. So if you've ever been to a Lollapalooza festival. There's so much that's going on. You could go there, never see a band, and say you had the best time ever. And that's what we were trying to do at X Fest. We were trying to make the experience an experience, a once in a lifetime experience. So yeah, you're right. We had the motocross bikes that were doing the aerials and all of that stuff in front of the grandstands. We had the Triple X tent, the foam pit. We had all the vendors. I mean, we had a vendor village. We had two vendor villages, one in the center and one on the side. There were 75 vendors. You could get a tattoo there. You could get a piercing there. You could buy paraphernalia there. You could
You
get
could sit in a bar and watch football.
we had the tent. I think that was that Sloopy's who
Maybe
sponsored. I think it was Sloopy's who sponsored that because they were always the big X sponsor. The Sloopy's bar that we had big screen TVs in there, and you could watch the football game while hearing a band and seeing
naked
naked,
women basically serving you.
right, and midgets wrestling. I mean,
Yes,
it was
we had
that.
it all.
I mean, we did it all, and so but going back to Lollapalooza, I mean, we were there and we were taking note. Kim and I were taking notes. We had our notebooks and we were sitting there writing things down. And somebody, I forget what stage it was, but somebody said, "Oh, look at the moms in the back taking notes," and I about died. I mean, I just went, "Oh no!" But and I'm doing research, and I was like, this is horrible. But
Uh,
yes, I was doing research and writing things down, and it was fun. It was just fun.
there was nothing better than doing research, and I honestly can't imagine Kim at Lollapalooza. I mean,
Yeah, I will say she looked. Yes, I was a mom at that time to a younger child, but she looked more momish than me.
yeah,
Except for now, I look so momish. I look like, yeah, I'm mom.
you look like Angie. So, something else, do you remember any of the things that happened, like, behind the stage?
So for me, I was not so much behind the stage because I was responsible for vendor village. So when issues came up in the vendor village, whatever issue, and there were issues, I had to, be there for that. Backstage, I do remember the one thing, the dining hall for the bands was over on one side of the stage, and there was this couple. They were so wasted, and the guy, I was trying to get him to get up because I could see him over there and I knew he was going to throw up. And I thought, that's the
Oh.
last thing I wanted, our bands, which they were probably doing it too, but I couldn't get the guy away fast enough. And all I could do was just walk away. I was just like,
Oh.
"This is not my circus. I am not doing."
Oh.
Okay, maybe it was my circus, but I was not the ringmaster of this guy. This guy, he's on his own. And I just looked over at the dining hall and I just said, "Sorry guys," and I just walked away.
Oh
So you're
god.
gonna have to tell the stories of the backstage because as a DJ on air personality, you guys were backstage more than I was.
Yeah. Um, I don't know what I can tell, really. You
I sent
know?
a picture of you with the band guys, though. So if your guy can get that photo,
Oh, who was that? He was
he
beautiful.
was beautiful, and he had the Spear Britney
Stroke
shirt.
9.
Huh?
Stroke 9.
Stroke 9, yeah.
Luke
God.
Luke?
Ooh,
I
ooh, oh
oh,
gosh, I'm having a hot flash just thinking about him.
he was beautiful.
Yeah. Wonder what
Uh,
happened to those guys now?
I don't know, but do you remember Cinder? They were at our show one year.
Yes.
They actually perform here. They've been performing here in Estero and surrounding areas
Really?
forever. They call themselves Soapy Tuna, and they'll sing cover tunes and Cinder songs. And they just put out a new album, I think. Cinder did. I don't know. I haven't listened to it yet.
That's very cool.
Yeah, we got some interesting folks that live around here, like Shannon Larkin from oh, now I'm drawing a blank. Sully's the singer.
That name sounds familiar. Who? I'm drawing a blank.
Sully Erna. Oh my gosh. I feel so stupid right now. We had them at an X Fest one year too. Ah, I haven't had enough coffee. It'll be okay.
You
I can
did
totally.
you did more than me. I did 8 of them, and all 8 of them just kind of blend together. It's like I see that fairgrounds, and they're all blending together. But yeah, we saw some of the most fantastic bands come through there. Seether did
Oh,
that private. Seether did that. They were like the X band because they did that private show at oh, what was the comedy? What are you doing? Oh, you have your Seether shirt on. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I missed it. I didn't even see it. Oh my gosh, yeah, they did that show down at the Wiley's Comedy Club.
we had so many of those, but
Yes,
yeah, it was so cool.
yeah, Bare
Uh,
Naked Ladies. I remember them being down there.
oh God, that's
Um,
I was doing the on-air broadcast, but I ran down real quick to meet the guys afterwards, and it's like, oh, then I got to see them years later performing with Alanis Morissette in Columbus, and they did this really cool choreography with all of them driving shopping carts, grocery carts, you know. They had little dances that they did with it. They're silly guys. But look at who we've met. I mean, uh, and
yeah. Oh, what was the name of the band? Oh God, I can see their album cover with the trees. Um, 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 um. Anyways, so X Fest was in September. The following like March, I go down to Lexington to see Three Doors Down and that band, and I'm going through Rupp Arena, and as I'm walking by the band, and I wasn't going to stop, and one of the guys says, "You're that chick from X Fest," and I was like, "Yes, yes, I am." And I just said, "How you guys doing?" And I just kept walking. I was just like, "Oh, what was the name of that band?"
what do they sing?
Sheila.
I know, I just had a total brain fart, and I still can't think of their name. And we had them at X Fest 5, I think it was, over at Hera.
Anyways, I all I know is that was kind of cool to be recognized, 6, 7, 8 months later at a totally different venue, and to be walking down and somebody's like, "Hey, I remember you." I was like, "Okay, that was cool." I did get to meet Three Doors Down backstage that show, so that was pretty cool too.
They're nice guys.
They were super nice guys. Okay, let's talk about that. Who else did we have?
Right.
We had
Goldfinger.
we had Goldfinger, but
What did they do with the Twinkie on stage there? Let's eat some Twinkies. Yeah, you're gonna tell that
oh
story.
oh oh don't bring that.
Oh, it's too late. Come on, girl.
Don't say that. I think about
You think about Twinkies differently?
I do think about Twinkies differently. And I think that, they've done studies where they've put Twinkies, they never change. 10 years, you could put a Twinkie in that plastic wrap, and it will be the same Twinkie 10 years later.
Well, that's not the story we really care about.
No, I know. And I'm not going to go to that story because
Oh, come on now.
let's just say it was deep fried.
Come on now. You
It was
have to tell
deep.
the story.
It was deep.
We're allowed to say whatever we want to here.
I can't say it. I can't.
So
Back
who
in the
was
day, I could say it. I can't say those things now.
I can.
I know you can. I
All
can't.
right. So just how did it start? And then I'll finish.
No, I'm not even going there. I'm not involved in this story at all. But
Weren't you up there supplying the
I
Twinkie?
was not supplying anything, thank you very much. There are some things that I will own up to and other things that I will not.
Okay, so there was a redheaded dude up there. I don't remember who it was. Do you? I
No.
I really don't. Was he a band member or was he just some rando that came up on stage and I don't remember.
I was in the VIP tent and I was looking. So I'm seeing everything that's happening. It's all a little, I'll say,
Blurry. All right, so this redheaded person ended up dropping his drawers and having a Twinkie.
he had a Twinkie.
Yeah, he had a Twinkie. He bent over a real Twinkie, not, we're not subjecting his maleness to talking about that. No, we're talking about a real live Twinkie.
Live,
So
live Twinkie. Live.
live, it was live.
Yes.
It suffocated,
It
but
did.
that's as far as I'll go with that. And it was Goldfinger that was on the stage.
Goldfinger
Hmm.
Twinkie.
Yes.
Mhm.
So everybody can make up their own conclusion to what happened to the rest of that. But across the street is where we housed everyone afterwards,
Mhm.
the bands that stuck around for,
Mhm.
for the night
Mhm.
at the Marriott.
Yes.
That was the happening place
That
after.
that the after party was really really happening, and I remember.
We had no
Okay,
more
I'm
Twinkies.
gonna tell on me. I will tell this story because we were so Boomer and I went over there with Boomer after we were done. When I went over there with Boomer, we walked in. Everybody was kind of was hanging out. The MF that who we all know who MF was there.
Sales guy, sales. Yeah.
Yes, sales, and I mean, his forte was doing the Rubik's cube at that other station. That was his style. Okay, so we're all in there in the room. I don't know if it was your room, whose room. We were all in the room together, and Clobber, um, we gave me a shotgun. And I just remember MF, his eyeballs nearly popped out of his head. I never seen somebody's eyes get so big in my entire life. And he just looked at me, and I don't know if it was like, I can't believe you just did that, or I never expected that from you, or you just did that in front of all these people. I'm not really sure, but I
What's
just
a
remember,
shotgun?
oh, Clobber,
Oh, weed.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But like from his mouth to my mouth.
Got it.
Yeah, yeah. And so he just so yeah, MF was it was just kind of, and I think a lot of people might have been a little bit shocked that I did that because I had a really good, I was the good girl.
She was a goody two shoes, is
I
exactly the
was
way it
a
was.
goody two
And it's not a derogatory thing. She just tried to be
shoes.
above the rest of us.
No, I wasn't trying to be
You were
above.
trying to keep us in line. It's not a bad
Yes,
thing.
there was a thin line, and that line was very thin because sometimes I would go below it, but sometimes, but
Where the most fun is.
I had, I was a young mom. I had young kids, and remember, I was pregnant that one year, so sitting on
Not the
top.
year you were smoking up,
No,
though.
no, 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 no,
Okay,
God,
just
no.
making sure you. Yeah. Okay.
No, 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 no. This was well after I had had my second child, second and last child. Which do you remember when we had the boom box, and
Oh,
I was heavily pregnant, and I was ready to have that baby. And I remember that they brought the boom box was finished. It had gotten all of its, labels and gotten all the dials and made it look like the radio and everything. And I remember my office was on the mezzanine, so we had all those windows there, and they pulled the boom box into the alleyway, and they turned it up. And they turned it up,
Yeah.
and I was like, if I go sit on the top of that boom box, I might have this baby. Because I was like, and it was just like boom, boom, boom. And like everything, the windows were just like going like this. And I was like, I could sit on that box. And oh, speaking of box,
Now we're going to talk about a box.
my box.
Your
My
box. Oh,
box.
geez. Well, first, did it help you get the kid to come out of hiding?
No. It
Okay.
was a dark, stormy night. The night that I had,
Oh, okay.
had her
Pressure drop. Yeah. Okay.
pressure drop.
Anyway, let's talk about
Okay,
boxes.
my box. So you know me in the photos. I was always the keeper of all the photos. I took photos. I had the photos. I stored the photos. I labeled the photos. It was the photos. Kramer asked me if I had photos from X Fest. And I was like, oh yeah, I'll leave them outside your door. So I left a box of photos outside of Kramer's door.
Oh, no.
And I left a message for Kramer. Kramer, it's Ange. Did you find my box outside of your door? I left my box on the floor right outside your door, and I need those back. If you could just bring my box to me, I'd appreciate it. So I left some kind of message like that. Left my box, can't find my box, need my box. Do you still have it? Bring it back to me. Well, Kramer forwards that to Mallory. Mallory airs it during the show. Just happened, and then it just got, you can only imagine the comments that happened with that. Just happens to be that same day, my husband and his work crew, he was doing construction, are listening to the X, and
Scott.
hears this. And he was pissed. I mean, when I got home, we had it, and I was like, are you kidding me? Okay, one, it was not that big of a deal. Two, I didn't care to be the
It
butt of
was
that
a
joke.
bit. It was a bit. It wasn't anything negative to
And
you.
and I really, the way that I sounded about, I need my box. I need that box back. I have to have that box, and I was just going on and on and on about it. And so it really was funny. But he ends up hearing it, and he is just livid at me. But that was not the first time, because the very first time that I was the butt of a joke twice. Do you remember when Tom Carroll and Christopher were on the air, and they were doing lunchtime from down on the square, because remember we used to have the affair on the squares in downtown Dayton, and they were doing a live broadcast because there was some band was going to be down there. And I called in and I said, because I knew Tom at that time. I said, hey, Tom, it's Angie. I said, how about I come down and we get a weenie on the square? And he's like, oh, yeah, I'd love to have you have my weenie on the square. So I played along with it.
Yeah.
Well, that was another time that my husband, at the time, no longer my husband, he was furious. I mean, he was just furious. And I was, because, the guys he was working with were razzing him. And I'm like, that's what radio was back in the day. You had fun. You had fun. And I didn't care, because back then I didn't care. It it was fun. It was laughable. If it made everybody laugh and have a good time and put a smile on their face, that's all that really mattered, you know.
Exactly. We weren't out there for any other reason
It
to
was
to do anything except be entertainers and
right, right.
make everybody else feel good about stuff, and honestly, we did a great job.
Exactly. I mean, it was a good time. Everybody and nobody did anything to hurt anybody. It was not about being facetious or being, derogatory in a way that was uh, totally against you. It
Right.
was it was just in the moment.
Laugh with us.
Laugh
Laugh along.
laugh
Yeah, have a good
along.
time.
It
Eh,
was a moment, and you moved on. Okay,
right.
it wasn't anything. And here I was, I so envied you guys. Everybody that was on the air could do that kind of stuff and be a part of that. I was always behind the scenes putting all of those events together, whether it was X Fest or Summerfest or Light Lunch or Mistletoe Mayhem. That was always
Oh, love that.
we always had these fun events, and I enjoyed being a part of that and being a part of putting together something that just made people feel good. You guys were the face of the stations and made people feel good in what you did, and I was behind the scenes. And if I could insert and get myself in there to laugh, to have a fun laugh about it, that was fun because we were all friends. All the DJs were fun. We were all friends. Some of the
Family.
salespeople were right there with us. Others were not there with us. But we
Right.
all worked together because ultimately it was for the general public. And I mean, when we went out and did these big events and you got 25,000 people at your venue, largest one time event each and every year, it was about those people. It was
Yeah,
about making those people have a good time and a good experience and walking away going, wow. And still 20 years later, still
talking about it.
talking about it. Do you remember the time that, Puddle of Mud and, oh my gosh, the big mosh pit that was in front of the stage and people were throwing down. And I mean, and I just remember people, good or bad. I mean, they were having fun, but people getting carried out. Oh my God, you had that. I
That
can't
was the
wait a
day.
Singe, Audio Vents, Seether, Stroke 9, Seven Dust, Filter, Chevelle. Oh yeah. And who was it? Who's that last one?
Jeremiah Freed.
Jeremiah Freed.
I have a whole bucket of stuff here. I mean, we've got this that you made.
I made that poster. I made that yearbook. Oh my God. See, that was me. I did all the photos. I kept them. I made sure everybody had photos of themselves.
You
And
did a great job of it. I was looking for some mistletoe mayhem stuff, but I'm not
oh,
really.
so the mistletoe mayhem, if you can, I sent that photo of the girls. If Angel can pull that up. So those mistletoe mayhem was TUE's
Yes.
winter concert at Hera Arena. Oh my God. And
Let me set this up.
yeah, you got to set this up.
Okay, so this year, um, when Angel finds the pictures, he'll be happy to see them. Um, this is an event at Hera Arena. Hera was this old venue that we loved because it was just the TUE crowd. Ozzy played there, the Stones have played there, you name it, they've played there. Not a big place either, but
But it was back in the day. It was the venue of all venues. By the
yes.
time at its end, it was so trash that no matter what happened at the concerts, you could trash it and
Yeah,
nobody cared.
yeah,
Yeah,
nobody cared because the floor was never gonna be,
no,
concrete again. That those days were long gone. It had
yeah,
about 12 inches of yuck on it. It's just,
yes,
it's gross, and that's what you expected. I mean, I saw so many shows sitting up in the box up there and
yes,
just wondering if it was gonna fall onto the people below us, you know?
yes, yes.
But but this year, I got to pick up the Christmas tree. Look at those girls. They're beautiful.
Okay, so those were the ho ho hos, right? You're looking at the
Yes.
girls. Okay, okay, because
Yeah.
I don't see the pictures.
Oh, you can't?
It
We'll
says
put the
it,
glass.
it says image not found.
Oh, well, that's incorrect. I can see it live.
Oh, well, hopefully your viewers can see this. Anyways, these ladies were absolutely fantastic. So they're in their little velvet and marabou Christmas outfits, strippers. They all worked on the Dixie Strip.
Strip club girls. It's,
They were strip
yeah.
club girls, and I was backstage with them, and we were chit chatting, and they were, one the Asian looking girl. She was a mom, and I was like, I love your body, and you're a mom, and I was a mom times two at that point, and I was like, I never looked like that even before I had kids, but I digress. Anyways, so these girls are in their little outfits, and they had the little string bikinis on, and but you see all that white marabou fur stuff. So I was telling them, I said, oh, I said, your outfits, the little white stuff is shedding and getting on the red velvet. Let me get that off for you. So I took tape and I wrapped it backwards so that the
Yeah.
sticky side out. So all three girls were just standing right there, and I'm just doing this all the way down their bodies, and
I
I,
missed that.
the boobs, the butt, everything, and to get the little white things off of before they went on stage. And so we were backstage, we were in the VIP room, and I was doing this, and there's all, people were back there, and everybody was talking and everything. And all of a sudden, it got quiet. And I stopped and I looked around, and all of the eyeballs were watching me pat these girls down with the sticky tape. And I was like, what?
Sorry.
I was like, what? And then it was just like, okay. But yes, tell the story about going and getting the Christmas tree in the fire department.
Oh, fire department. I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
So brought the Christmas tree in, okay? And then
Well, hold on. Let me bring the Christmas tree in.
yeah, bring the Christmas tree in.
So Tony Tilford told me to go get the TUE truck, and the TUE truck had Christopher and Kerrigan on the side of it, of course. Stick shift truck. Loved driving that thing. It was so fun. So he's like, here's some money. Go get the Christmas tree. Get a live one. Get a nice one. La 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 la. Like, okay. So I stop at the place. I get the Christmas tree. They load it in the back of the truck. Drive the truck to Hera. Nobody's there yet, and it had just started snowing, some fresh snow on the ground. So I'm like, nobody in the parking lot? Sweet. I started doing donuts, just donut after donut with this tree, hoping it didn't fly out somewhere. I went and parked the truck. Guys, the tree's here. And that's, then they took the tree in, but I'm really surprised it didn't bounce.
Okay, so here's what happened with the tree. So it was Hayseed Dixie that was no. Who was the chainsaw band? Not Hayseed Dixie.
No.
Um, with the chainsaw. Oh, what was the name of that band? I can see the guys.
Damn it, I can too. Shoot.
Oh, God, I should have brought the photos. Anyways, Jackal.
Yes, yes. God,
Jackal.
how could we not even come up with that? I'm
Jackal.
so
Okay.
ashamed of us.
Yes. So they had the chainsaw song. That was the name of the song. The chainsaw song, Jackal. So they bring in the Christmas tree, and because they were going to use, Hera had to call the fire department because Jackal was going to use the chainsaw and cut that Christmas tree down. So Hera had to call the fire department because we were going to use a chainsaw inside the venue on wood. Okay. Here's the thing. You're out there in the parking lot doing donuts. It starts snowing. And I mean, this was a snowstorm because by the time the concert was over, we had like 8 inches of snow on the ground. It was crazy. So they bring the Christmas tree inside, and we get it in the stand. The fire department comes and does their inspection because of the chainsaw that's going to be used. And they say, you have to put flame retardant on the Christmas tree. And Clobber and I are standing there and we're both looking at each other going, flame retardant, flame retardant. Where are we going to get flame retardant? You know, it's an hour before we're supposed to go on. And I lived, so that was, the Hera Arena was in Trotwood and I lived in Inglewood, the next town over. And I'm like, look, you need to go to this hardware store, get this flame retardant, and then and get yourself back here. So they come back. Firemen are still there. And they're like, well, the tree has to be dry. And we're like, the tree has to be dry. Are you kidding me? Sheila is out there doing donuts and the tree's in the back and it's all completely wet. This tree isn't going to dry out to spray the flame retardant. So
Now, wait a minute. It was already wet, not for me splashing in a little bit of snow. It was an open bed truck. It got
I
snowed on.
I know, but you know, the faster you go, the more wet things get. Okay,
Anyway.
anyways, don't go there. So anyways, so we bring in big fans and we're trying to dry off this Christmas tree. And, you know, it was, so we got some of the little branches dried off. So finally we're like, look, fire department, and we're spraying it down with the flame retardant so that we could get it out on stage so that it could then be cut down when Jackal did their chainsaw song. Craziness.
And the tree gets filled with bras.
Well, and that, yes, that's the other thing. So,
Aren't they flame retardant? I don't know. I would have said, hey, we're going to be covering it in bras. So, you know, that's their thing. It'll be flame retardant. Don't worry. Let's get some kids' pajamas in there and wrap around it too.
so here's the thing. So I think to start out, they bring out the Christmas tree, and Vern was dressed up as Santa Claus, right?
Yes.
So Vern, you know, Big Vern, he looks like Santa Claus.
Mhm.
So he brings out the tree. Crowd is going crazy, and he pulls out a bra like double, triple F size bra and puts it up at the top, and everybody's going crazy. And, you know, B-Man's out there making his announcements, whatever. And so then now people in the audience are starting to throw bras, starting to throw all this. So we knew that that's what was going to happen. Do you remember Deb? I don't want Deb B, Mark's wife. I don't want to say last names. So we were down in the front, and so she acted like she was taking off her panties, but she actually had a pair of thong bikinis
tucked away,
tucked in her pants, and then she pulls them out and then threw them up on the stage. And, you know, the guys are like, you know, pointing at her and all that stuff. And I go, Deb, I've got this one. And I actually took my bra off and I threw it up. And so here I'm like, now I'm like supposed to be responsible person.
Yeah.
I'm the event coordinator. You know, I'm not supposed to be doing this stuff. So now I'm walking around braless for the rest of the show. And at the end of the show, when, you know, everybody's out of the venue, and here comes the stage hands and they're tearing everything down. And I'm like, I need to get up on stage because I really would like my bra back. Because it was like a $35 white lace bra. And I was like, I need that. So
I tossed up my good bra. I need it back. I gotta go home.
There's a time, you know, now I could care less about wearing a bra, but there was a time when bras were fancy, lacy, and expensive. And, you know, I wanted that bra back. So after the show, I go up and I get my lacy bra back, and he's like, do you want the rest of these? And I'm like, no, I don't want to know where they came from. I don't want to touch them. I just want mine back. So,
ew. Can you imagine?
Oh, God.
Ew.
I can't believe I did stuff like that.
But see, that was back when we had so much fun. Don't ever regret that. I mean,
I know. Yeah.
we enjoyed having you there creating this stuff for us. I mean, It
It was
was,
fun.
yeah, it
I would
was.
never do that stuff now, and I can't say that stuff now, what I did, because I married a preacher man. So
I know, and I figured that was why you can't really talk, but, that was a different part of your life, and you're
oh,
exempt, you know,
oh,
even
yes, I
growing
am.
up, you're
Hey, I was making a paycheck and raising 2 kids by myself, so,
yeah, because husband couldn't handle it that, you were having fun, and I think I would have had that same issue had I, done the things I did back then with a husband like I
yeah,
had. He
yeah.
couldn't have dealt with it either. No.
And I don't know why. Well,
Jealousy, they've gotta be in charge.
insecurities. It's
Yes,
their
that's it.
insecurities.
Yeah.
Um, and he hated it that wherever I went, I knew somebody.
Right.
Wherever we went, oh hey, how are you doing? And it's just like, where do you know that person from? How do you know that guy?
Always suspicious. But anyway, you know what? We're gonna do this again because I think you've got
Again,
enough stories to tell me some more, and I know that the next career you had was basically talking to dead people. So we're gonna go into that. That's
oh,
a tease.
that is you're such a tease.
I
Yeah,
worked in TV
I would
too,
love
girl.
to talk about that. Yeah.
Yeah, we
Okay.
will. She actually is, um, the Wright brothers, Paul Laurence Dunbar, um,
Charles Kettering,
all these cool
Irma
people.
Bombeck,
She's
John
talked to all these
Patterson.
people at their gravesites, so we'll let that sit right there. Angel, thank you so much. Angie, thank you so much for
Oh,
being here
Sheila.
and reliving some past with me. I've got goosebumps that'll stay here for the rest of the day, I'm pretty sure.
I hope people followed our story because we skipped around so much, but
Holy cow, we did.
yeah,
But, if they didn't, you just call and have some, questions, I'll answer them.
there we go.
Angie, yeah, yeah. All right, girl, you have a great day. You too,
You too.
Angel. See you next. Oh, I'm off for a while. I'm out of town for 3 weeks. I'm coming to Ohio.
You better call me.
I'll
Call
be
me.
I will, the 11th through the 29th. We'll find a day where we can go do lunch. Maybe we'll pick up Yvette too.
Oh,
Diva.
that would be fun. Cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool.
So,
Cool.
all right. Have a wonderful day, everybody. And, well, just don't let it suck. That's better.
Peace
Bye.
out.
Yeah.